Hello YouTube. So today I'm going to answer some basic questions about how to do a 40-day mantra discipline. I'll also tell you why you have to chant something 108 times, why you have to chant it for 40 days in a traditional discipline, and I'm going to show you how to use a mala to do your chanting. And I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. As you can see from here, I do astrology readings, astrology.thunderwizard.com. And what I do in these astrology readings is I give a specific mantra based on your chart, a specific mantra that is for you for the rest of your life. Now, you can do all kinds of different mantras for different reasons, but there is one mantra that is like your base mantra for you. And this can be seen by looking at your chart. And so what I do every time when I give one of those readings is I tell people, if they don't know, how to do a mantra discipline and how to use a mala. So I'm making this video so that I don't have to repeat myself and just for general knowledge for everybody. So we're talking about Vedic mantra, which is Hindu. You can call it Hindu if you want. But it's the indigenous religious practice of the East Indians. And let me be very clear, this practice, the Hindu religion, the Vedic religion, is the only remaining Indo-European religion in the world that has an unbroken connection into its prehistory. The rest of the Indo-European world, which means the rest of Europe and parts of the Middle East, they either converted to Christianity and or Islam. And Christianity and Islam, being more of a fundamentalist monotheist religion, they wiped out all of the indigenous religions. So it's a valuable resource, and it has a lot of wisdom that goes back thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of years. And there is a science for spiritual advancement called japa mantra. Japa means repetition. And we have the same word in the English language and another Germanic language. If you hear somebody say, yeah, he just yaps all the time, yap, 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 yap. That sounds like slang, but that's actually the same root word where you get japa, which means repetition. And so japa mantra means to repeat a mantra over and over again for various purposes. If you've done any kind of serious research into yoga or the Vedic or Hindu religion, there's a lot of chanting of mantras. It's a very big part of that religion, and it's a very powerful science. Now, I'm going to get into why you need to do it and how to do it and all those things. But first, let me just say that it is important, if you want to get the most out of your japa mantra discipline, that you have a mantra that works for you. Unfortunately, even among yogis and Vedic Hindus, they throw around mantras like candy, and not every mantra is right for everybody, because every mantra has at least one planetary vibration, and it will have a very specific deity associated with it, which is just simply a particular ray of emanation of the source of divinity. And there's all kinds of other things associated with it. So except unless you're doing all-purpose mantra like Om Namah Shivaya, for example, that's an all-purpose mantra. Anybody can do that, and it will be beneficial for you. But some of the other more powerful, more specific, the tantric mantras, now we're getting into real power that should only be explored if it is right for you. Because in your astrological chart, let's say, for example, Mars is causing you all kinds of problems. Well, then you have to be very careful. Maybe you want to worship a Mars deity like Rudra, for example, or Kartikeya or Hanuman. You have to make sure that that Mars mantra is going to do something for you beneficial. Same thing, like let's say you've got Saturn. Saturn is causing you all kinds of problems in your chart. If you just start jumping to Kali mantras, for instance, really powerful tantric Kali mantras, you may be causing yourself more challenge. I mean, it'll end up helping you in the long run, but it could be end up very challenging. Maybe destroy your marriage, destroy your job. You don't know. So it's really important that you get the mantra that is right for you. You know what planet you need to work with. So you can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com if you're not sure. If you're like me, what I did is I spent a lot of time experimenting with mantras, and that's how I know. I know from personal experience that there are some mantras, no matter how powerful, no matter how popular, if they're very specific and very powerful, if your chart isn't lined up well with that planet, then you're going to go through some really challenging experiences. You'll learn from it, but the point is that you don't have to do that. You know, it's like, you know, when you go to a doctor, the doctor will say, well, we can give you this medication, but here are the side effects. Here's a medication that you can take which doesn't have any side effects, and this will help you. You need to find out what mantra really wants to help you, build you up, and help you work through life in the least challenging way and the most beneficial and the most pleasant way. Go to astrology.thunderwizard.com and get your specific mantra tailored just for you. All right, so the mantra discipline. Why do we do it for 40 days? Well, we have three minds. We have a conscious mind, we have a subconscious mind, and we have an unconscious mind. The vast majority of time, I would say at least 98% of the time that anybody uses the word subconscious, they really mean unconscious, because most people don't even know what the unconscious is. So you have the unconscious mind. Un means non, not. Means that you are not conscious of it. Have you ever known people who are like angry all the time, aggressive, passive aggressive, and they seem to be clueless about it? And people will say to them, gosh, why are you so angry? And they'll go, what are you talking about? I'm not angry. Why do you keep saying I'm angry? I'm not angry. Well, they're obviously unaware of their anger. That's called being unconscious. That's in the unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind holds all of our childhood issues, positive and negative. If we were taught to be self-sufficient and to love ourselves and to believe in ourselves, that is an unconscious programming that works in our benefit. Now, not all parents are perfect at it, so sometimes children get messages to feel guilty, to feel shameful, to not be confident in themselves. And any issues you have towards people, romance, money, these are things that get programmed into your unconscious mind as you grow up, usually in childhood, but even as you grow up, you can still be programming your unconscious. Now, when these things become unconscious programs, it means that they run 24/7 without your conscious awareness. You will have no idea that these programs, positive and negative, are constantly running and creating all of the situations in your life. This is where mantra meditation comes in, because mantras are not positive affirmations. You know, people say, my mantra is, in fact, I say this myself, I say, my mantra is to make a living doing what you would do anyway. That's really a positive affirmation. It's not a mantra. A mantra is a very specific science of sound. And what you're doing is you're taking very sacred, very powerful sound vibrations, and you're creating an equation. And so each mantra is a different equation. You know, A plus B equals C. Well, sometimes the equation is completely different. You know, A plus Z equals Q. Very different. So each mantra has its own equation that is designed to do a very specific purpose, to unleash specific energies and working with specific celestial and deity energies to create the desired result. And so when you chant a mantra, what is happening is that that mantra is acting like an antivirus program in your computer, and it's going into the hard drive. Your unconscious mind is like your hard drive. It's going into the hard drive, and it's going to be looking for the bad data, the broken code. And it's going to either try and fix the code or get rid of the virus that's in there and get it out of there. So it is possible when you do a mantra ritual that you can have challenging emotional experiences. And if it's because you're doing the right mantra, it means that you're releasing bad data in your hard drive. Sometimes it's hard to know what's going on. That's why it's good to have a teacher or a guru that you can talk to who can explain to you, no, that's good. This is supposed to happen. Or no, that's not what's supposed to be happening here. Maybe this is the wrong mantra for you. Let's take a look at what's going on. So we do it for 40 days because it takes a minimum of 40 days for any mantra to get into the unconscious mind and extricate the bad data and get rid of it and allow you to become conscious. So remember, this is all in your unconscious, the part of you that you're not aware of. The goal is to become conscious and go, oh my gosh, yes, I have been sabotaging myself in this way. Oh my, I had no idea I was doing that. I've been attracting the wrong people. I've been dating the wrong women. I've been doing the wrong work for a living, whatever it is. Or even to become conscious of the good things. Oh my gosh, I have been hiding this gift my whole life. I've been feeling guilty for the fact that I'm this, or shameful. I'm embarrassed that I'm so good at this or that or the other. I feel egotistical, but now I realize it's my gift and I can go out in the world and people appreciate it. This happens a lot. Mantra, if the right mantra, will help you become conscious of these things. So people think mantra are these magical spells. You do it and it goes out and does things. Now that's your experience. And I'm not going to say it doesn't do that. But what is also happening is that you are changing. The mantra, like a medicine, is going in and healing the bad data, the bad programming, and getting you to function on a more powerful level for yourself, which means that your world will then align to meet you. And it looks like things are magically happening, but you're changing on the inside. If we want to talk about the law of attraction, it means that you start vibrating on a different level. And so what you see in the world is the different level of vibration. You think the world has changed, but it hasn't. You've changed. Okay? So that's why we do it for 40 days. It takes a minimum of 40 days for a mantra to go in and make that unconscious shift in your favor. It's like taking antibiotics. If you take antibiotics, you can't just take one and then skip a week and start. You got to take them every day, because otherwise the disease will get strong and you won't be able to knock it out with that. Now it's not exactly the same, but if you're doing a mantra meditation for 40 days, let's say a 40-day ritual, and you get to day 39 and then you forget, guess what? You got to go all the way back, because your unconscious mind is waiting for that 40 days. I'm going to tell you specifically later on what to do when you start your first ritual and how to set your unconscious mind up to get the most out of it. But now we talk about, why do we do 108? We do 108. So a real mantra, a 40-day mantra discipline is that you're doing a mantra 108 times in one sitting every day for 40 days. So why do we do that? Well, we have 108 nadis, or energy channels in the body. So when you chant anything 108 times, you're literally filling your entire energy body one full time with the energy of the mantra. So that doesn't mean that you have to do that. I mean, some of the really long mantras, maybe you don't do 108 repetitions. Maybe if it's a really, really super powerful mantra, you don't do it 108. But your average mantra, you want to do it 108 repetitions every time you do it. So if you're doing Om Namah Shivaya, for example, it's very popular, very, as I said, very user-friendly. Then you would want to chant it 108 times. How do you do that? It's like, how do I count 108? How am I supposed to do that? Well, that's what this is for. This is a mala. You've seen all different kinds of malas, but this is your typical Rudraksha mala. You don't have to worry about that. Just get any kind of mala you want in the beginning. So this one has 108 beads in it, not counting this big bead here. This is called the Meru bead, where the tassel is. Now first let me get this off my chest because it drives me crazy. I watch videos and movies. You know, like I can't remember the last one where I saw this at. I think it was anyway. I can't remember the name of it. Really popular series, and somebody was wearing his mala like this. Now I've seen people do this. They go out in public and they wear their malas like this, and they wear the tassel in the front, like the tassel is a pendant or something. I can understand why. It looks like it might be, but that's not what this is. This is not a pendant. This is not how you wear a mala. This is the meru bead, and the meru bead has all of the mantras stored in it. So when you're chanting and you use the beads, the idea is that the mantra will get lodged here in this. And so the way you wear it after you've done your mantra is you wear it behind your head, because you want the meru bead touching your spinal column and sending the energy up into your spine. So you wear it like this, not with the thing here, but in the back. If you want to, you can wear it around your wrist after you've done your mantra, like I do lots of times when I do my videos. And now the power of the mantra is getting into these powerful gates. You have very powerful gates here in your hand, and it's sending the energy of the mantra up through your entire nervous system. So this is another way to get the power of the mantra. That's why people wear them around their wrist all the time. But you can also just leave it on your altar when you're doing a discipline, and it will still be soaking up the power of the deity and the mantra that you're working with. Now, how do you do it? So what you do is you take it and you drape it over these three fingers. Now, you're not supposed to drape it over this finger like that. You're not supposed to do that. And the reason I've heard that is because this has an attachment to the ego, because you point at things. I honestly don't know how true that is or not. The oven seems to think it is true. I just follow directions. So in this case, I just follow directions and I put it over the middle finger. This has a very powerful, this is the Saturn finger, which has a strong connection to karma. So maybe that has something to do with it. I honestly don't know. Like I said, in this case, I just follow direction. If it works, don't fix it. So what you do is you drape it over these three fingers like this, and you put the meru bead right there, and then you put your thumb on the first bead, right above the meru bead. And then you chant, Om Namah Shivaya, pull it towards you. Pick up your thumb, put it on the next one. Om Namah Shivaya, pull it towards you. Pick it up, put it on the next one. Om Namah Shivaya. Now, of course, you're going to be holding it in your lap like this, and you're going to be chanting with your eyes closed. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, like that, right? Now, look how far I've gotten already just in those few repetitions. If you're doing a short mantra like that, 10 minutes, and you'll be all the way around, and before you know it, as you're chanting and you're deep in chanting and you see Shiva in front of you, your thumb will bump into that big bead, you'll feel it, and you go, oh, time to stop. The whole idea is you don't have to count, but now you're chanting it 108 times, and you have this cool power necklace that you can then go out and heal the world, or whatever. All right? So that's why we do it 108 times, and that's how you use a mala. And we do it for 40 days, minimum of 40 days. Now, some mantras have a very specific instruction, and sometimes you have to do it 1,008 times. You have to do it 24,000 times before you get what's called siddhi. S-I-D-D-H-I. Siddhi. It means completion or mastery, or I forget the exact translation, but it means you got the goods. So if you get what's called mantra siddhi, it means that you have gotten the full power of that mantra, whatever that is. And so sometimes it'll take 1,000 times, it'll take 5,000, 10,000, 108,000, 25,000, 250,000 times. You never really know. The safe thing is, if you want to get the initial first harmonic shift with a mantra, if you don't know, and your guru or your teacher hasn't given you specific instructions, then you do it 108 times every day for 40 days. And then you will get the benefit of the japa mantra. Now, what I have come to find out is that sometimes you need to do more than just chant a mantra. That is called japa mantra. But when you're doing what's called a puja or a ceremony, then you have other things involved. which have to do with altars. And on the altar, you can put things like an idol of the deity, who's, for obviously Om Namah Shivaya, you're chanting to Shiva. If we talk about other mantras as well. So you could put an idol of the deity on there, or a representation. You can take a picture, like a framed picture, if it's against the wall. Like, for instance, you're chanting the Hanuman. You can get a framed picture of Hanuman and put it up on the wall above or put it on a stand on your altar. You can do 5-element rituals. I'll tell you about that. I've already, when you go to thunderwizard.com, that is the subscription site. I teach you how to do that. I teach you how to use the 5 elements and put it on your altar and use it. But what's really great is if you find out exactly in your chart what's going on with that specific planet and that deity. For instance, let's say Hanuman. Let's say you get a reading from me and I say, oh, you have Mars, and you have Mars in this certain sign. And so that means Hanuman is the Mars deity for you. And then I look to see which seed sound you put in front of the mantra, and I give you the Hanuman mantra. Well, there might be 2 different people who both get that same mantra, but one person faces southeast and puts a libation of some kind of, either milk or almond milk or honey water, and they're told after they do 108 repetitions to drink that and let it go through all the body and fill all the cells. Well, that's because that would mean that Mars, in the Vedic chart, not in your Western chart because it's going to be different, in the Vedic chart, that would mean that Mars is sitting either in Libra or Taurus. Means that Mars is wanting to worship Venus because Venus lords over Taurus and Libra. Now, if Mars is sitting in his own sign, say of Aries, and that would make Hanuman a very powerful warrior deity to worship indeed, then I would be saying you worship fire. You would face the direction of south, and you would light a candle, or if you're outside, you would light, a havan, which is a big fire, or a bonfire or whatever, and then you would chant your mantra while you face the fire. That's because Mars is in his own sign, and Aries is a fire sign. So it means that Mars wants to worship fire. See what I mean? So all of these little tricks I've found can really make your mantra just, go from being good to being amazing. And when people have gotten readings from me and they get their mantras and they do it according to the instructions, many times they will say, my God, the first time I said it, you wouldn't believe the power that I felt, and my life has changed like this and this and this. I've been chanting mantras my whole life, I've never felt that. Well, it's because you haven't lined everything up exactly right. Now you know how to do that. So this is just some basic things about how to do a 40-day mantra discipline. I told you I was going to tell you how to start it. And this is really important. How to get the unconscious mind aligned so that it's going to do exactly what you want and serve you. Now, bear in mind that, as I said earlier, you can do positive affirmations with your conscious mind. It's definitely helpful, nothing wrong with that. But the problem is if your unconscious mind has a programming that is opposite of that. Let's say, for instance, somebody has a problem with money. They can't seem to make enough money. No matter how hard they try, no matter how much money they make, they can't save money. And the guy down the street, he makes no money at all, but for some reason he's always got savings and money in the bank, and he can afford it, and you can't figure out what's going on. Well, that person may have an unconscious programming that is against money. Maybe he grew up in a very religious home and his father was a Catholic priest, and his father had an issue about money because he grew up and he saw rich people taking advantage of poor people, and so he's decided that money is evil, and so he's programmed his son, money is evil. Now that kid grows up and he says, I don't think money is evil, I think money is good, and I want to make a lot of money, and for some reason he just can't. It's because that unconscious programming, he can't consciously override it. So this is where mantra comes in, and ritual. You have to have ritual as well, which is facing a certain direction having the symbolism. There might be certain things that you do during the ritual in order to empower the mantra. And what happens is that when you do ritual with the mantra, like facing an altar, a ritual could be just as simple as facing an altar with a candle on it, based on your chart. It could be doing the whole 5 elements. It could be, as fancy as you want. But there needs to be some ritualistic, symbolic, and an offering involved. And when you put all of these things together, the unconscious mind kicks in. Now, you say to yourself consciously, I want to have a lot of money. And your unconscious mind says, nope, I veto that. Nope. And the thing is, the unconscious mind is running 24/7. So that means if you spend 10 hours a day sitting on the edge of your bed, telling yourself conscious affirmations, if your unconscious mind has an opposite program, it will be vetoing you the whole time. And then once you stop, then the program still kicks in. It never sleeps. You have to sleep at some point. So your unconscious mind will keep rejecting that conscious affirmation. And then when you stop doing it, then it'll just go into full gear and still, why the heck can't that person make any money? Well, it's because their unconscious mind is going 24/7, trying to knock that out. Mantra will change that. Mantra, ritual, 40-day vow can change that. Because the unconscious mind, when you set an altar up and you do a mantra and you have a candle and a whatever, incense or whatever it is that your specific mantra requires, the unconscious mind goes, you're reprogramming me. All right, you have my full attention. I'm listening. Now that happens anyway. If you do ritual, the unconscious mind does that. It comes to attention. And when you do the prescribed number of days and repetitions, the unconscious mind will let go of its old programming and accept the new one that you're giving. Now, in order to get that facilitated, I recommend doing something even more than that in the beginning. So let's say some guy has been given Om Namah Shivaya to do it, and he faces north and he lights incense, right? Let's say he's been given that. And he does that because he wants to make more money. He wants to break the chain of his programming that told him that money is bad and evil. So what ends up happening is that when he starts his first day, he knows he's going to do this 40-day mantra. He's thought about it. He knows that his intention is to be able to earn more money, to earn a lot of money, to be comfortable with money, and to break this unconscious self-sabotage when it comes to money. He is going to look at that altar the first day, and he's going to light the incense, and he's going to say, in his own words, something to this effect: Lord Shiva, I do this 40-day mantra discipline to you so that you can help me make more money and break my self-sabotage when it comes to money. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Now, when you do that, when you tell the universe that you are doing a 40-day discipline, that you are doing it to achieve a certain objective, when you do that under those conditions, the first day, and you're lighting the incense or lighting the candle or whatever it is, putting the offering on the altar, whatever it is that you're required to do, the unconscious mind goes, oh, all right, I have now been given a new command. And now your unconscious mind will go to serve you, to change that. But the unconscious mind, bear in mind that whenever you've been given one of these programs, even if it's totally antithetical to what is, helpful for you, your unconscious mind believed at the time it was being programmed to help you survive. It is true, when you're a little kid, in order to get daddy's love and approval, you better buy into daddy's idea about money. Otherwise, dad is going to yell at you and criticize you, and so you better buy into it. So there is a survival mechanism of adopting daddy's idea about money. But the problem is, once you become an adult and you want to get rid of it, you can't, because now you're programmed that way. So the unconscious mind may resist. This is what we call unconscious resistance. That's what happens when you start to grow in an area that's been a challenge for you, is that your unconscious mind kicks in, tries to hold you back because it thinks it's trying to protect you. So when you do a mantra discipline, you're calling on a deity to come in and help your unconscious mind realize that it has to let go, that it is not protecting you. But it may fight you. So let's say you're doing Om Namah Shivaya and you're on day 22 of your 40-day discipline, and all of a sudden all kinds of hell breaks loose in your life. Your girlfriend breaks up with you, your boss fires you, you're flat tire in your car, and you're like, what's going on? I'm doing the mantra, it was supposed to get better. Well, that's because you're having unconscious resistance. That's why you got to keep doing it, because that's when people give up, and 22 days into it they give up and they stop. The unconscious mind says, I won, you get to stay poor, you're now safe, come with me. So that's why you have to keep doing it. You can't stop. You can't go 20 days in, take a day off, and I'll do it another 10 days, another 20 days, and I'll be okay. Nope, you have to do it all 40 days. You miss a day, you got to go back and start over. It means that your unconscious mind won the wrestling match. Doesn't mean you didn't get any benefits from it. It just means that, you let your unconscious resistance win. And I've seen people's unconscious resistance do things like, when they had a session with me to come to, my studio. Ooh, it's raining hard out there. That they've come to have a session with me in my studio, that they don't show up, calling and I'm texting and nothing. 2 days later, they say, I fell asleep the night before and I slept for 36 hours. I just woke up. Well, that's a really serious sign of unconscious resistance. There was a part of their unconscious mind that knew that coming and working with me was going to change everything, and the unconscious mind said, nope, you're going out for 36 hours. So that's just an extreme example. Anyway, so I think I've covered all the things that I wanted to talk about. Let's take a look here. Why 40 days, I talked about. Why 108 repetitions, I talked about that. How to chant with a mala. And I talked about 40 days. Okay, so I got everything in there. Now, as I said, if you aren't clear on what your mantra is, and you want to get something specifically designed for you, you can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com, and you can get a reading from either me or one of my apprentices. If you want to get certified to learn how to give these very special, specific mantras to people, then I want you to go to courses.thunderwizard.com. Let me see if I can find it there. There it is. So go here to courses.thunderwizard.com and scroll down to Astrology Certification Course. If you're seeing this video right as I put it up, I do have a special, which is I will give you half price. I'll give you a certification in Vedic astrology as I teach it, which includes the mantra thing, as well as how to do a 9-world rune reading. So you can go to courses.thunderwizard.com, take a look at the certifications. If you want to support the channel, just go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe there at whatever level you'd like. So that's it for me. I think I answered all the questions I wanted to get to. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you on the live Q&As. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell button if you like these videos. All right, talk to you guys soon.